Hi, my friends. So, I had a widowmaker heart attack on vacation in Spain. I'll talk to you guys a little bit about why, what I could have done maybe to prevent it, and the warning signs that I ignored that almost killed me. Warning signs where I work out every day, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I started getting chest pains while I was working out. I thought I just pulled a muscle because it only happened when I was working out. When I got my heart rate going, I would get a chest pain. I started breathing a little heavy. I thought, man, I pulled a muscle. I only have a couple of weeks till we go to Spain. I'm going to go easy there anyway, so it'll heal. Well, in Spain, I had the heart attack. Widowmaker ended up in emergency room. So, my doggies are down here saying hello. So let me come down here, see if they'll come over this way. They'll stop yelling and screaming. They just want to hang out with Dad. But the warning sign number one was ignoring chest pain, shoulder pain, back pain, shortness of breath. If you feel warning signs coming up, talk to somebody. Tell your spouse. Talk to your doctor. Tell a friend. Somebody, hey, this is not feeling right. Could save your life. Don't ignore that. I'm going to talk to you a little bit. I want to take the guys inside. We'll resume this on the couch in a second, but I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the things that I did in Spain, something that my wife did when we were in Spain, when I actually was having the widowmaker heart attack that saved my life, and what the doctors told me. So I'm going to get all these little guys inside. We're out here in the studios working out. When I decided to do this video with you guys, they're out here hanging with me. I'll see you inside in a minute. Hi, my friends. I'm back. We're talking about the widowmaker heart attack. Last conversation, I told you about some of the warning signs and how I didn't pay attention to them. Could have cost me my life. Came real close to it. So we went on our trip to Spain. We've been planning a trip for a while. I have family in Spain. And went to Spain. Arrived in Valencia. First day in Spain, go to dinner with my cousins. We have this beautiful dinner, big paella, and all kinds of stuff. And we went walking. It was during their festival called Fallas. Very cool festival. If you don't know about it, look it up. Fallas in Valencia, Spain. So we're walking around. It's a little bit of a rainy day. And out of nowhere, I have this massive heart attack. It just came out of nowhere. I started feeling a cold sweat. Kind of hard to breathe. My chest started hurting, shoulder up into my neck, down my arm, into my fingers. We were walking, and it kind of scared me, and I didn't want to say anything to my cousins or to my wife. I didn't want to ruin our vacation, so I kind of walked it off. Lasted for, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so. I would lean up against the wall whenever I could, stop and hold onto a handrail. It finally went away.
So I have a question. What made it feel different than the symptoms that you were having here at home when you thought it was a muscle in your chest that you had pulled?
That's my beautiful wife who's sitting behind the camera. She said, no, I didn't put on my makeup, so she didn't want to sit in front, but now she's firing questions at me. It's a good question. The difference, they were just little pains at home. It's just like a little, like an ow. And it would be out of nowhere. That's why I thought I pulled a muscle. This was a massive pain in my heart. I could feel it, like somebody was squeezing my heart. And the pain started radiating into my neck, into my back, down my arm. And I knew it was not a pulled muscle. I knew it was something serious. That was the main difference. The cold sweat, I hadn't experienced that before. That was another difference. The shortness of breath to that extent. It was like, when I was working out, I had a little bit of shortness of breath, but I just thought it was due to the workout. But it wasn't. But this was like, I had a real hard time breathing. So I played it off, didn't say anything. We were in Valencia another day, got on a train to Seville. I have Sevilla. I have some friends, well, family, my cousins, who live in Sevilla, right outside of Sevilla, in a smaller city called Huelva, and we were going down to visit them. So on the way, we're on the train. I still hadn't said anything. My wife and I were on the train. I know it's 6 hours difference back to the States. And I messaged my daughter. And I said, she's a cardiac nurse. And I said, hey, this happened. And this is what was been happening. Should I be concerned? What should I do? And she called me right away and said, you got to go to an ER. You got to get this checked out. That's a heart attack. Don't play with this. So when we got to Huelva, all my cousins already knew about it. I told my wife, of course, on the train what had happened. And she reached out to my sister, and my sister reached out to my cousins, and my daughter reached out to family. By the time I got to Huelva, everybody was waiting for me, and they loaded me in a car and took me to the hospital in Huelva. When I got to the hospital, they did a blood panel on me, EKG, a urine test, asked me a bunch of questions. But it had already been about 36 hours since I had my heart attack in Valencia. And a lot of my blood work and stuff had stabilized or at least gone down. And I don't remember what markers they look for, but they said that a couple of them were elevated, but not to the point of being critical or dangerous at that point. So they didn't keep me. They said just to monitor it, and if anything happened, to come right back in right away. Spent another couple of days in Huelva, and I had a couple more real small. Every time I got kind of exert myself, my cousin has a dog that's super hyper, and I would play with the dog, and when I would get a little overwhelmed, I would feel a little pain. Nothing strong, but kind of like that pulled muscle feeling. I knew it wasn't a pulled muscle, but it wasn't strong enough for me to say, let's go to the hospital. So I played those off. We left Huelva and we went to Madrid. So I'll tell you about what happened in Madrid in the next video. But heed those warning signs, my friends, and make sure you follow up on this next video. I'm going to tell you what I did that saved my life. Love you, buddies.